And then we go 3, 2.
G'day everybody, welcome to the Player Issue Podcast Cave Sessions. I'm your host Aaron Warwick, and I hope you're going to enjoy the outtakes at the start of this show because Em is a nutcase. Welcome, Ella.
You in the zone. Stuff you then. I'm not doing that again.
The 3, 2, 1, go thing, it didn't work. But here we are, we're here.
It's just 3.
You have to do that again because no one saw that.
It was 2.
Anyway, welcome to the show. Emma, welcome back for episode 4 weeks in a row. Shout out to Clint Johnson. We are here 4 weeks straight. Emma.
Hello.
Any feedback from last week before we get started? Riveting. We're off to a great start, folks.
I can remember.
Nothing at all. So, anyway.
A few people said they liked the episodes and that, but that's about all I know.
I've got a couple for you.
Okay.
First things first, the very first feedback or comment we had
Oh, God.
was who invited Warwick Kappa?
Jack, I like that jumper. And I was like, really nice jumper. I love this jumper. I'm going to, spice it up a little, wear a leopard print jumper. And then Clint comes along and that's it. I don't want to wear it ever again now.
That's legit too. She has not worn that
haven't worn
jumper
it
since the day.
I hate you. You've ruined a good jumper for me.
I think the best thing to come out of the show was the spready. The spready got a lot of airtime. I think everyone loved that. We got quite a few people commenting about the spready. James, I keep eating the microphone. What's going on here? Last week turned into a bit of a comedy fest because, we do these things at 11 o'clock at night. We come out here at 9:30 tonight, I think. I was like, oh my God, we're going to be early for a change. What time is it, Emma?
5 to 11.
So at least we've started earlier.
I said as soon as you walked in the door, I was like, right, we're doing this episode. And you're like, yeah. I went and ate my dinner early for you. You still haven't eaten dinner. We watched an episode of something. And
Are you ashamed to say what we watched?
yeah.
I'm sure people watch a lot of worse shit than that.
Reality TV.
Yep. What was it? Tell us exactly what the show is.
90 Day.
Surely there are other people that watch it.
90 Day Fiancé.
Which one?
Single Life. It doesn't matter which one. We watch all of them.
That's how bad it's gotten, though. We started watching the single version of 90 Day Fiancé.
It's because it's ridiculous.
I know you don't think so, but I actually love Big Ed. I think he's hilarious.
You disgust me. Anyway, moving on. That's not what we're here to talk about.
Moving on. So, yeah, Warwick Kappa was one. The spready was fantastic.
Warwick Kappa, you wanker. I could say something completely worse, but you keep it PG. PG.
Yeah, I don't like the chances of that. We've had 3 weeks in a row where you've just dropped it. At least you lasted a little while last week, but we'll see.
First for everything.
Emma, before we get too far, there was some more feedback from Matt, actually. A mate Matt, who we mentioned last week. He did message me. He did message me throughout the week just to give us his little shout out. Well, thank you for his shout out on the last week's show. Also mentioned to me that he messaged you as well immediately after. Do you want to share with us what his message to you was?
I was outside mowing the lawn, hadn't seen my phone for about 2 hours. I was like, oh, Erin might have messaged me. My husband. No, it was Matt. My second husband. It was Matt. Love you, Spud.
So Spud seems to have taken on a bit of a life of its own at this point. And with that, if you give me 2 seconds, I'll be right back. And we're going to look at your pretty face while I disappear.
I'm really worried. What are you doing?
I would be worried too.
Where are you going? What are you doing? What are you doing?
All right, I'm back. Emma, this is a bit of a gift from me to you, and it's stabbing me in the back right now. um, so here you go. This is for you. It's not as easy to draw on a potato as you think it is. Here I was thinking it would be so simple, just a nice draw a nice face on there, and for some reason, the black pen, just doesn't want to work.
Hot.
Yeah, so
Just a new one every week
but do you know what I like about that spud? I went through a lot of spuds.
because it has a small head and a fat waist.
No, because it has a nice hourglass shape. That's what I was going for. I saw that potato, and that was the one.
Thick. She's thick.
So from here on out, every week, I think we're going to have to make an addition, and I think the first addition's going to have to be he might need some new legs because he ain't going to stand like that, unfortunately, with the toothpicks. So every week we'll have a new addition to Senior Spud. It's a happy Spud, though.
Why do they put eyelashes on it?
He's got beautiful eyelashes. He's got a nose. He's even got a nice big smile.
Got an hourglass shape, you wanker.
He's beautiful.
Thick.
So there you go. Just for you, we have got you a little mascot, and it's Senior Spud. So
Waste of 10 minutes.
it legit took me about 10 minutes to go through all those spuds and figure out which one was the best.
Take some plushie or something. Not the actual potato.
That shit cost me 88 cents.
Is that all it worth to you? Was 88 cents?
I thought it would be less than that.
$1.
I thought for one spud at $4 a kilo, I'm like, oh, beauty, it'd be 20 cents. This is easy. I ran into a mate on the way, and he said, oh, where are you headed? And I said, I'm headed to Coles. Got to pick up a potato. Oh, just one potato? Yeah, exactly. I thought I was nuts.
Can we please move on?
So there he is, Mr. Spud. He'll forever live on the end of the table, although he may change forms a few times every episode.
I hope it starts growing sprouts.
Oh shit! All right, we're stuck on Spud.
Sorry for anyone I've just like pierced their ears with my laughing.
Actually, you mentioned that, so another bit of a feedback was our own feedback.
It was my feedback.
It was yours?
Yeah, because I said every time I watch the podcast or watch the video, there's moments where my mic keeps dropping out and you can't hear me.
So, well, we were absolutely pissing ourselves last week multiple times. The volume would just cut out, and I couldn't work out what was going on there. But I think we may have figured it out and fixed it. I hope. I guess we'll find out.
I hope for your sake
Same
it
time you
cuts
do.
out while I'm laughing.
So yeah. Anyway, moving on. We'll fix that hopefully. We were going to debut a new segment today, which we did mention last week, which was Cave Sessions on the Road. It's not going to happen today, unfortunately, because like as I said, I do outsource a lot of work that I just simply can't do, like animations and videos and intro videos and things like that. So I did outsource for our little intro to Cave Sessions on the Road. And what we got back was
a mess.
I don't think mess really explains it. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to show you that video in full so you can understand the absolute crap that this guy came up with. And
the monstrosity that we've got sent.
Let's have a look at it now, shall we? So here we go. This was the effort that this gentleman put in to give us our little intro video, a catchy, funny intro video I asked for cave sessions on the road, and you can tell us your thoughts and feedback as maybe you do actually like it. Anyway, here we go.
Cave sessions on the road.
Yeah, train wreck that was. Emma, what do you think? What was your thoughts?
The thing I like about it is my car looks like it should. What the hell? One, I'm blonde.
Well, yeah,
And
and
they
you're
made
not
me
in the show at
brunette.
all. At least it got the hat. So you got
Well,
a
they got
hat.
the hat,
It's just
yeah.
kind of just awkwardly placed on top of your head.
Yeah, I look like a spud. And then you've got this stupid jingle, and then it stops the jingle and just goes cave station on the road.
So as you can tell, we're not going to use that. And unfortunately, because we didn't have a cool jingle or cool little intro video, there is no cave sessions on the road today. We still have to get out and refilm the segment anyway, with the first cave session on the road guest. So we will look to do that for the next episode, providing that our next Fiverr worker, Fiverr.com, it's a great website if you need any work done. Very cheap. Just unfortunately, sometimes you get some work like that crap that just came through.
That cost you $13.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. But they actually do some great work, and I believe that the person who's doing the next one will do a good job. So, cave sessions on the road next week, we hope. What else do we have for our feedback last week? So, actually, I've got a little bit of feedback throughout the week, and that's not from the show. Annie Munro is our favourite TikToker. He's the only TikToker I know. But he asked a few questions once Freo decided to show people what the new jumper is going to be for next year. Wasn't because of the new jumper needed to be released. It's purely because they announced that Bankwest are coming back to Freo. So he asked me a few questions and then used some of that information, put up a TikTok video. Now, we're going to have a little bit of a rebuttal for Andy. He already knows this because we commented on his video anyway. But do go over and check out Andy's TikTok because there's actually a lot of players that follow his TikTok and follow and comment along to his stuff as well. So he does a great job. Just keep all the 16-year-olds out, please. It caters to a smaller audience, a younger audience at times as well. But he does a fantastic job. Now, this is no slight on Andy at all. We're just going to, I guess, cover some information that he may have got incorrect or left out. But here's his video.
Because of some controversy, Freo are the first AFL club to release their jumper for 2023. Freo have had Woodside on their jumpers for 12 years, but it's a trend now to cancel energy companies, so they're no longer going to be on the jumper, but they're still sponsored by Woodside. Replacing them is Bankwest, and there is a lot of orange on this. Bankwest must be splashing the cash because it looks like they're using the most amount of area possible. It doesn't look so bad here, but purple and orange is Perth Glory, not Freo. Back in the day, Bankwest used to sponsor Freo, and they're a little bit ahead of their time because they actually changed their design to fit the Freo design. You can see back in the day, the Bankwest logos looked much better. Maybe Freo fans will cancel the orange now.
Okay, so that was Andy's little TikTok video in response to Freo releasing their 2023 jumper. Now, that jumper is not the absolute most final design either. So, in all likelihood, is what you're looking at there is probably going to be just that, the final design. But it's not guaranteed because it hasn't been officially announced. Now, it wasn't an official announcement for the jumper, it was an official announcement for Bankwest coming on board. However, I can say that it's going to be very, very similar, if not exactly that. couple of things he said is, one, they're going to be taking over Woodside, and that Woodside are being dropped because of cancel culture and all this and that. Woodside are not being dropped at all. They are still going to be the major partner for Fremantle Dockers next year. They're still contracted, and there is no plans to remove them from that contract at all. I think there's 10 people who are trying to get Fremantle to change their mind and essentially remove them from the Jumpers and just get rid of them as a partner altogether, but it isn't going to happen. Unfortunately, those 10 people don't have enough say. They're talking on behalf of Fremantle members when 3 of them are actually members and the other 7 are not, which I find very interesting and doesn't make any sense to me.
Just opinionated people.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. So yeah, I have respect for a couple of them. A couple of them were ex-players in Fremantle. But there are other people that unfortunately just want to be heard and have an opinion. But unfortunately, a couple of opinions don't change everybody. So, no, Woodside is not going anywhere. They will be on the opposite side of the jumper to Bank West. So you'll have Woodside on the front on home jumpers, as per normal, and Bank West on the bottom back of that same jumper, and then vice versa for away and clash. Programmed, however, is not going to be removed from the jumper, which is a common misconception from people at the moment, is that Programmed are completely coming off the jumper. That's not the case. As you can see in those photos, that they are still going to be on the jumper. They are now a minor partner, not a major partner. So they're still going to be on the top section of the jumper as well. So, yes, Programmed are not coming off completely, only the top, instead of the top and the bottom. They won't be on the front of the jumper anymore at all. That'll be shared between Bank West and Woodside, but they will still be on the back of the jumper for all 3 designs, providing there is a home, away, and a clash, which, if you can see in that picture, it does look like that is the case. Looking up a little bit closer to the jumper, it took me a little bit to get used to it, having that orange Bank West logo, but I actually don't mind it the more I look at it. And I'm super jealous of that girl that has that Andy Brayshaw 2023, essentially, player issue jumper. Especially if it doesn't change and that's the very first Andy Brayshaw 2023 out there, and it's the final design, then that's a huge pickup. And if you are that person, please get in contact with me. I would like to buy it off you.
How do you know it's hers?
Because she's holding it, and I believe it is now hers.
She probably works for Bank West.
Oh, yeah, she definitely does. But I reckon she has been given it to keep. Anyway, moving on. Andy, you're almost correct with all of your information, but not quite. So there is our little rebuttal for you. But keep up the great work. You do a great work. I just said do again.
Do.
I have a habit of saying that, don't I? We have one more feedback from Harbour Master Brian. Very good man, Harbour Master Brian. Hey there, great to see you guys are well. Just catching up on the cave sessions, which are fun. Sad to hear you are trolled as a stalker about Barra, but you started something. I'm seeing others pick up a player and try and build collections like yours. Thank you, Harbour Master Brian. Very good man, Brian. We actually got to meet him in Marvel, at Marvel Stadium, again with Freo vs St Kilda. He came over and said g'day to us in one of the boxes, and he's a good bloke. And he also picks up a lot of jumpers as well at auction. He picked up, I want to say 5 or 6 of Pride jumpers on the other night, so he's done well for himself. M is falling asleep.
Falling asleep, not listening.
All right, moving on. Also, M, how comfortable are you feeling right now?
God, why?
Because I've just managed to look down and I've just seen something in between my legs.
You're off again. This is not a children's show. No, it's my slippers. I've made myself comfortable. That's all. I'm stretching my legs.
You've got a little fairy between my legs, so they're literally right under me.
Stop it. It's
Oh
a
my
slipper.
God.
It's a slipper. Don't call it a furry ever again.
To be fair, like I've just looked down in the corner of my eye and I've just seen this furry thing right
Dun,
between
dun,
my
dun,
legs.
dun, dun.
Like, what
It's
the
my
hell's going
slipper.
on here?
I've stretched my legs.
Do-
I'm comfortable, thank you.
Would you like to potentially show the people what we're talking about so it doesn't sound as bad as what it actually is?
My slippers.
Oh, don't show them the bottom. That's filth.
Sorry, I did actually put them in the washing machine the other day. Look at them. There you go. Slippers.
I want to know who else washes their shoes. This is the first time I ever seen that happen was Josh. And if you've listened to the audio version of the podcast or you've followed along with the auctions, you will know who Josh is. He's my nephew. And one day I watched him take his shoes off, throw them in the washing machine and wash his shoes. And I thought it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I said to my sister, I was like, what the hell is he doing? And she looked at me like I was the weird one. What, you don't wash your shoes in the washing machine? No. Who the hell does that? Have you ever washed your shoes in the washing machine? Or
Yeah, I washed shoes in the washing machine. I put the slippers in there the other day.
yeah, I can sort of understand that because they are very fluffy things, and they look like they'll be easily washed. But shoes, it's just the
Yeah, my
weirdest thing
son
I've
used
ever
to
heard.
wash shoes.
Right.
You used to have this special thing where you put them in a dryer and you'd sit them on this thing in the middle of the dryer and the dryer would go around, but this thing would just stay like, and your shoes would get dry. Yeah.
Wait, are you serious? They actually is that a feature?
Yeah. There's a thing. I don't know if you can buy it anymore, but you hook it on the side of the dryer in a way in the dryer, and as the dryer goes around, the shelf stays, and it literally just sort of stays like that as the dryer goes around, and your shoes stay like that. Yeah, instead of going dun 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 in the dryer.
Hang on. Am I learning something new here? Is this a legit thing? Like
Yeah.
that feature is made for your shoes?
Yeah.
You're kidding me?
It's a rack that goes in the dryer.
I need to see this.
I'll ask Mum if she's still got it. I don't think she's got it. She hasn't got a dryer anymore, but I'll ask her about it and she'll explain it to you. Yes.
All right. So please comment below if this is something you knew before this show. Did we just teach you something here on the podcast, a Player Issue podcast, Cave Sessions, that there is a rack for your dryer, a washing machine? Did you say washing machine?
No, for your dryer. To dry them.
Right. Okay. So
shoes take forever to dry.
yeah. So but when you put them in the washing machine, you just go. You don't have a choice.
Yes.
Okay. So I still didn't know that though. That's wait. So people would have been the dryer as well.
Yeah.
What?
You do it on low heat though. You don't do it on high heat. And when you put them in the washing machine, you do it on a delicate wash, so it's not so da 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 da. It's a slow wash. Yes.
Jesus
Who would have thought
Christ.
when we started this cave sessions we were talking about shoes in the dryer? Moving on.
Just
Yes.
dumbfounded that
Yes.
there are people that wash their shoes.
Yes.
And there are people that dry them, and there's a
Yes.
little rack. So da 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 da. That's just that's got me, and I reckon there's other people out there as well that have never heard of that. So please comment and let me know that I'm not the only one that didn't know that. Please make sure that I don't look like a complete idiot. Comment in the section and tell me that you also didn't know that and you learned something here today, because I'm feeling a bit stupid right now. And Em's looking at me quite stupidly as well.
But you didn't know they go around in the washing machine going da 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 da.
However, okay, so before we got started here tonight, you said something to me that I had a bit of a chuckle at, because I was like, wow, you're today years old when you figured this out. That the black guy in Rush Hour is the same guy
Oh, Smokey.
is Smokey
Smokey.
in Friday.
Yeah.
I can't believe that it took you till today to figure that out.
I was literally in the bathroom and I could hear it and I was like, oh, it's Smokey. And then I was like, oh, wait, we're watching Rush Hour.
So you've watched Rush Hour that many times and Friday that even though you've visualized him, it didn't matter.
No.
It took for you to hear the voice while not looking at it to realize that was the same person.
No clue.
That's tremendous. Cool bloke. He's a great actor. I'm really
didn't
sad
know
that
about
the Friday 4th movie, I can't remember what they're going to call it, but it's kind of sad that it's never going to happen at this point. You right, mate?
Sorry, I've
You
just
good?
got a bit of a...
Yeah.
It's all that washing machine talk.
All right, so a bit of an update on end of season sales. The Fremantle Dockers, hopefully by the time you've watched this episode, have released all their information. It was going to be released today, Wednesday, the 20-something, 26th. My watch is dead, so I've been
26.
wearing this all day as purely as an accessory because it's not been charged all day.
I told you I had 4% this morning.
And I knew that, but there's no way I wasn't going to wear it because it feels like I'm naked without wearing my watch. So I just can't not wear it. So anyway, there it is.
26.
26. So hopefully by now you would have seen the information has gone out and that I'm not crazy and that will be the 12th of November. If they have screwed me and they've now changed the date without telling me, I'm going to look like an idiot.
The 12th?
Yes.
If they change it again, we're screwed because I've now got clients booked up nearly every Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go moving them all again.
Yeah. So the reason why we'll be trying to keep you updated with, when the dates are, is because there are people that are trying to make prior arrangements or change prior arrangements so they can go to the sale. I know of a couple of people that once I told them the date had changed to the 12th, they freaked out, you being one of them, yeah, that they wouldn't be able to go. But because we gave them the information early as we could, unofficially, of course, they were able to try and make arrangements, and now they have a chance to get there because it's only 2 weeks away, 2.5 weeks away until the sale. So it's good that we're able to get that information out there to anybody who needs
as much as you can.
it.
Now you're off.
Yeah, got me going now. It's all that washing machine and dry talk, as you said. I could just taste shoes. So clean shoes though, because I've been through the dryer.
Anyway, sale.
It's pushing me along. So yes, the sale we are looking forward to. There have been a couple of auctions or a few auctions end recently. The Brisbane Lions did something a bit different. I've never actually seen it done before. They actually sold or auctioned their jumpers on official memorabilia. I don't know if they've ever done that before. I've never seen it. But they auctioned off their home and their away jumper. Ooh. They auctioned their home and away jumper in the same auction. So I wonder if people even realised that that's what they were looking at when they were bidding, because it could have been confusing. I was trying to explain it to a few people, and they got seemingly confused that I was saying that you get both jumpers for the one price. So some of the jumpers went crazily cheap. Like, I'm an idiot. I got there fairly early, and I was watching all these jumpers go for $275 to $300, and thinking, some better ones coming up, and they're still very cheap. I'll just wait, and I'll get them either cheaper, or I'll get some better players, still super cheap. So I let some good ones go, like Cockatoo Collins and Cockatoo Collins, but can't remember now. But I remember passing in a few and thinking I'll be right, and then I got to the point where, all right, I'm going to bid on this guy. It's really the last cheap one before I get into player issue, because I wanted to make sure they were match worn. Because actually, the good thing is that they said whether they were match worn. So some of them had match worn home and player issue away, which I thought was really cool. So you actually kind of knew what you were going to get. So I made sure that I got a match worn and a match worn. Was going for it. Problem was, at that point, it seems like everybody had just been notified that this auction was happening, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the jumpers were skyrocketing in price. I know Lockie Neals went for over $3,000, and there wasn't too much else under $600-700 by the last dozen jumpers. So I missed out, unfortunately. But it is what it is. And some people out there got some great jumpers. And if you would like to sell me one of your home 2022 match-worn Brisbane jumpers, I'd be very excited to pick one up. So let me know if you are interested in only the clash or the away, and I'll be happy to pick up the home off you. Don't know who would be interested in just the away, because seemingly they don't hold very much value, especially compared to the home one anyway. So that was Brisbane. There's been a bunch of Pride auctions end as well. There's still the misconception of the AFLW just being basically garbage. Fremantle Dockers versus Collingwood in their Pride game. Fremantle were utter garbage. There's no way of putting it. They were terrible. Did not play well at all, unfortunately. But if you then go and see what happened in the auction, the prices didn't reflect how bad they actually were. So I think I may have got the cheapest jumper from the sale, from the auction. And I paid $275 for that one. So most of them were going to $500-600 plus. And I think turbos, so Kiara Bowers went for about $1,000.
Oof.
And Hayley Miller's went for about $850 odd.
That doesn't surprise me, though.
Yeah. Hayley Miller is probably our best player, even though Kiara Bowers has won a lot of awards.
Yeah, but that's for the games, specific games.
No, she won the best and fairest for the league as well.
Oh, really?
The women's Brownlow.
Oop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how I knew that.
Yeah, so absolute guns, and it's understandable they go for a lot of money. But like I said, the misconception is the league is so bad that the values for the jumpers just aren't there. One thing that did surprise me, though, was the West Coast Eagles Pride jumpers. The first time that an AFLW West Coast jumper is actually being let out to the public in a public forum. So I expected that those jumpers would go off the chain. Now, going in, I couldn't, hand on heart, say I have no idea about more than probably 2 West Coast Eagles players, maybe 4. I wouldn't have a clue who they are. So I did go in just hoping to get a super cheap match worn. I was pretty much just going to just get whatever the cheapest match worn was and be happy with it. And I just started to notice that they were all going for $150. So they just weren't getting bids. I got a message to say that someone had picked up 2 jumpers for $150 at the very start. So I thought, okay, this could be a real cheap day. And it was. I did have to go up a little bit because, again, I waited a little bit. Also made sure that a couple of the West Coast collectors let me know what it was that they were planning to bid on, because I didn't want to steal them from them. Obviously, they are collecting their club.
Their stuff, yeah.
I would like to help them out and not steal the stuff that they want. So that's generally the way to do it. If you are not a supporter of that club, but you want to get on the auctions, and you do know some collectors, especially know some collectors and what they are likely going to bid on, best thing to do is jump in there and just ask who they're bidding on, what they want to bid on, and just stay away from it, because it's their club. Let them have a go at it first, and then just get something that they don't want. It's the best way to do it. So I got somebody that I can't even remember the name of right now. I don't know, but I paid $188, I think, which, like I said, for the first time West Coast have let out a Pride jumper, and West Coast don't do auctions or sales or anything at the moment.
They also didn't do a Pride jumper last year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that is.
So I'm pretty sure this is their first Pride jumper.
Yeah, it actually is. So they didn't do one last year, and they were the only club not to do one. I don't know why that was the case, but they got berated for it. They copped it hard for it.
I remember it being something along the lines of like, we don't feel we need to bring out a new jersey for every. So we bring out the Indigenous, then we have a home, then we have an away. Why do we need to add another jersey to it to, what's the word, like conform with everyone else?
Yeah, that's pretty much what they said.
And they got
hammered for it.
That's the word. I could not think. I was going to say something else. But yeah, they copped so much trash for it.
Yeah, so they weren't going to make that mistake again this year. And as a matter of fact, they actually wore the jumper twice, which I didn't even realize. So when I bid on my jumper, it said match worn. And then when I went in and had a look at round 8, I think it was, I saw my player didn't actually play. So I was like, oh, shit, I've been had by the auctions again. And my jumper was going to be player issue. But luckily, John Rambo let me know that they actually played them in the same jumpers in week 7 as well. So
it's probably to make up for them not wearing it last year.
Exactly. So that's the thought process as well, is that they didn't wear it last year, so they're going to go double it all out this year and wear it twice and then auction it so people can get their hands on it. But yeah, so I can't remember who it was that said it. But yeah, they basically said that they didn't want to have to conform to what everybody else was doing, which is a mistake. And I'm sure that's not what the club actually feels.
That wasn't their first year, though, was it?
No.
Was last year their first year?
No, I think it was their second.
think because in their sense it was like I said, jumpers are expensive, and they were like, we've already got to do a home and away, and now we've got an Indigenous, which is fine, but now we've got a Pride jumper, we just don't have the fundings for it, so we don't need to do it basically. But it came across as, we don't support this is not what we want to do, and they got ruined.
Yeah, I
by
mean, that's it. It was
everyone.
more how it came across. It just came across super poorly. So, but they did a good job. The jumper actually looks great, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Whoever's it was,
You'll have to show me. Actually, I haven't seen the.
it's beautiful.
I haven't actually seen the Eagles one.
All right. Well, yeah, it's nice. The funny thing about that is we may have to wait about 3 months. So it's a little bit of a running joke. However, it's not necessarily a joke because it actually tends to come true. Rambo, good bloke. We'll go back to him again. He did mention that he picked up some from the auction, but unfortunately, we'll probably have to wait 12 weeks to actually see it on his Instagram page. That is because West Coast tend to take their sweet ass time getting them into the hands of the fans post-auction. With the men's, it may be slightly different because you're trying to get the players to sign them. Can be hard. Then they got to send them off to SE Products, get them authenticated, and then send them back, and it takes some time. With the women, they've probably signed them straight after the game. Don't know that they should. That's the easiest way to do it. But because they wore it twice, yeah, they may have to do it later. But then they still send them away, and they're going to wait for the AFLPA COAs. So that's what takes the time. The best thing they should do is just get rid of the AFLPA setup. They just don't even need to go through them. Because after that post that John made, I mentioned that I won the Freo jumper on the Sunday night. No, the Monday night. I won the Freo auction, and then I picked it up at 11 a.m. the next morning with a COA. So club COAs, I think, are the way to go. Not just because it doesn't really matter, really. Like the COA still says the same information as what the AFLPA does. Just people seem to think that because it's done by the AFLPA that it means more. Often it doesn't because they're not authenticated properly most of the time. And it's still a third party. It's SE Products. They're not completely affiliated with the club. So that's a hard one. But to get them in the hands of the fans quicker, the people who pay the money to get them into their collections, something needs to change. And I think it's the club COAs is the best thing to do because it's super quick and the turnaround's amazing, and Freo do it super well. And there are other clubs that do it the same now as well. So I think that's the way to go. But yeah, so lots of Pride auctions just ended. They're the only two I jumped on. I did bid on a couple others, but I didn't want to spend too much money because there's still a Freo sale coming up and I've got to have some money for that. So St Kilda also got back to me. I think I mentioned last week about St Kilda. I emailed them.
And got donuts.
And got donuts, yeah. I did mention that, I take it.
You got donuts, yeah.
Okay, so I did have donuts at that point, but St Kilda now have got back to me. And they basically just said we haven't had a chance to go through all the jumpers, so we don't even know what's left. But they were nice, and they said if you would like to just throw some numbers at us that you are interested in, or players, and we will go through and pick out which ones we still have left, and we'll let you know and go from there. So thank you for getting back to me, Saints. Appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing what you have. So if you are interested in getting something from the Saints locker room sale that you missed out on, chuck them an email at saintslocker something.
Helpful.
I might put that link down in the comments so you'll see it there because I don't remember what it's called, but it's like shop@saintslocker.com.au or something like that. But it's worth chucking them an email if you're interested in getting some stuff because they will reply. This might take you a week, but like I said last week, they're probably on holiday, so it's fair. So we will talk about some of the stuff that I got in the last week. Here's the first one.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
There you go. You can show it off. Now, this one is really cool just because of the design. It's a shark swimming in the ocean. Like, how much cooler does it get? It's cool as hell. So this is an East Fremantle waffle jumper. It was worn in 2021 and 2022. They wore the same jumper. So I just really, really like the design. I didn't have an East Fremantle jumper anyway, so I just wanted to get one in the collection. But this one's just really, really cool. This is their Indigenous design that they actually wore for Night Elk Round, as you can see in the top middle there. Turn around for a second so they can have a look at the back as well. They have giant sponsors on them. If you want to lift it up a bit so you can see the sponsor, huge. And that's heat press as well. So that's the first in. I don't know whose jumper it actually was because no idea who number 41 is, and I have not researched it at all. But very cool, and thank you very much to Clint Johnson for picking that one up for me. Thank you very much. Whee!
This is not how we treat our jerseys. This is not how we treat
It's not. We won't do that to the next one.
No.
Here's the next one for you, Emma. And this one we literally just spoke about. So this is the 2022 Fremantle Dockers Pride jumper, match worn against Collingwood and signed by Philippa South on the front there. The Woodside Energy, which is different. They don't normally have energy in the wording, which I wonder if that's what they'll do with the men's jumpers next year. That is heat pressed on there. The new part of these jumpers, with across the whole clubs, I believe most of them, if not all of them, have the little Telstra logo right in the middle, and the new AFLW logo with the NAB Bank on there as well.
I've just realised something on the back.
Okay.
Surely you've noticed this.
Yes, I have.
That's neat.
It's cool, isn't it? So I'll chuck a picture up of what Em's talking about so you can see it. But in the material that they've gone.
I was going to explain what it was, but that's okay.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. So pull it down a bit so you can see the whole top there. Yep. So you can see it's got the flag up there as well, which is super important for all of the communities. They all come together in one little flag. And then you've got the little rainbow above the Fremantle Dockers logo, which is what Em is talking about and she's super excited about.
So it's in Fremantle, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in Fremantle, I'm not exactly sure where I've seen it, but I'm not sure about the where of it. But it's shipping containers, and so that's what that is. So they've made this archway, a rainbow archway out of shipping containers. So each colour is a shipping container. It's huge. You can go right under it. And it's an arch, and it's exactly like that. It's massive.
Yeah.
It's a massive photo thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of the marketing photos and the promotional material that they did to promote that jumper was done underneath that rainbow archway.
I knew it was under that, but I didn't realise they'd actually put the little rainbow archway on there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got really excited about that.
I like it. Here's another one that we spoke about last week as well. This one was picked up from the sale and then on-sold to myself or traded to myself from Reese Mitchell. So thank you, Reese. So it looks like a normal home jumper if you looked at it before and pulled it up, but it's not. And it's something that I really wanted just because I guess I got caught up in the week, but it also is just such a tremendous looking design. So the front isn't anything too spectacular, but it is pretty cool. It's a nice little pattern at the bottom there, but on the back is even better. And it is Jack Steel as well, so it doesn't get too much better than that if you're talking Saints jumpers at the moment. That pattern is just beautiful, goes all the way through. The colours are lovely. So that's the 2022 Jack Steel match worn.
The photo you took of it was really clever, where you did the front and the back, and then you put it together. So that pattern actually you can see the full design, not just curved around a jersey. That was really clever.
I'm smart sometimes. I agree. So beautiful design. Thank you to Reese for picking that up for me. It's just really nice having a 2022 jumper in the collection for any club. But that design is just lovely. And there is a lot of writing in there as well. It's a lot of different Pride cups that I guess a lot of communities play in. So that's pretty cool. Not something I've seen before. I'll show that to you so you can see what I'm talking about. So it's pretty cool. There's a bunch of those just written all the way through the jumper, and that's definitely the different cups that the Pride round is played throughout the whole community in different leagues and levels. So that's really cool. I didn't actually see that, but I appreciate that, Reese. It's a beautiful jumper, and Jack Steel jumper is always cool to have. And this one is super special. It's hard to say that because obviously being a hardcore Freo fan, it's hard to say that this team is a super special jumper.
It's not so much it's a super special jumper. It's probably a jumper you never thought you would ever have of that team because they're so incredibly hard to get a hold of.
That's correct, yes. And not just because the team itself are hard to get a hold of, but the significance of the day that the jumper was worn. I'll pass over to Em so she can show you. And if you can just show us the back first.
Okay.
Okay, so it is a West Coast Eagles jumper. Number 33, Josh Hill. As you can see, the watermarks.
Bear with me.
Sorting itself out here. The watermarks throughout the jumper. Really cool feature of the Puma West Coast Eagles jumpers that they did amazingly. And I mentioned last week that there would be a 2015, 2016, 2014, 2015 Puma jumper that I will be showing this week. And this is that jumper. This is a 2015 West Coast Eagles Puma jumper. The reason it's so special is this particular reason. 2015 AFL Grand Final patch jumper, not just patched, but match worn in the first half of the 2015 AFL Grand Final between West Coast and Hawthorn. As I mentioned, worn by Josh Hill. This special jumper, Em, if you want to just pull that right up close to the camera so you can see the AFL logo. A lot of people have never seen it. If you drop it just a touch, a lot of people have never seen one up close. That is a very, very special patch. They've changed it nowadays. It's much more of a rubber material. This one is much more felt. And it's actually in 3 layers as well.
So about to say it's very layered.
Yes, it's 3 layers so that you could. Well, they attempted to stop any counterfeit for these things, but it also just gives it a super special look and feel. The red behind AFL is kind of like an embroidery, which is really cool, and then the rest of it's got that felt material feel to it. And these are heat pressed onto the jumpers only a couple of days before the game itself. The AFL actually fly over to the clubs. They take the patches with them and they make sure that it's all controlled in-house. So the patches don't get out after that fact. So that's a super special jumper for me because I just love special jumpers and good, really nice jumpers. That particular brand of jumper, Puma, manufacturer is the word I was looking for, is just gorgeous. And the 2015, 2014 jumpers were probably the best template and material that I have held. And I still believe that today because that is beautiful jumper. And I just like to have anything in any grand final. It doesn't matter if it's a losing grand final either. Like, I have 2 Fremantle Dockers ones as well.
Well, it's also like, I mean, anyone that's bought a grand final jumper knows how expensive they are, how much they go for, and how hard they are to get. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, they are very valuable. But the funny thing is, a lot of people think that they are not very valuable because they're a losing jumper. It is still a jumper worn on the most important day of the year, and the reason that we even watch the game in the first place is to see a team win a premiership. Obviously, if it was a winning grand final jumper, it would be far more valuable. But being that it is a grand final jumper at all means it's still a very valuable jumper, and it's still a fantastic piece to have in their collection. And anybody who doesn't have one should strive to have one. I think I have about 9 now, potentially. I've had up to 20 in the collection at points, but I think it's beautiful. I'm super happy to have it. And I was super happy to be able to give him something back that he really wanted in trade. So this was a pure trade between the two of us, where we came to an understanding where he was actually trying to give me more money.
Yeah, he was actually trying to be too generous.
So I said to him, no, I think the jumper that he wants to trade me is worth probably about the same. So it's just going to be a straight swap as far as I was concerned. So he left super happy because he got something that he really is passionate about and is really close to his heart. And I got something that I just really love because I just love great jumpers. And for me, that is a great jumper. No matter what anyone thinks, it's beautiful and I love it.
So what's more beautiful, your wife? Your wife?
My spot or? I don't think I can answer this question. I don't think I want to take that spud to bed because he looks very sharp.
So you take the jumper instead.
Take the jumper.
Just jump to bed.
I may have slept with a few jumpers before.
Cardboard cutout.
You can't see him, but he's there. He's here. He's watching us.
Oh, he's been
It's actually
lurking.
kind of creepy.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, Em. We've got another little segment today that we've not done before, and this one is another shout out to Andy Munro, our TikTok king, who hopefully hasn't left us after our rebuttal on him earlier.
He loves us.
He does love us. Of course he does. It's Andy. He's a legend. Andy does a great job with his TikToks, and he does a Mail Day segment, which I think is hilarious because I love when you open up a TikTok and the first thing you hear is Mail Day.
Oh, really?
Every time. It's brilliant. I'm sure he does it because he knows it's great. But I look forward to seeing those videos and just hearing his voice. Half the time, some of the jumpers or the soccer shirts that he gets, because he gets a lot of different types of stuff, I may not be interested in, but I still watch him because it's entertaining and it's interesting. That's the best part about his videos. And for me, it's just the Mail Day.
Mail Day.
But so, anyway, there's a shout out to Andy, because we are going to do something that he does, and that is Mail Day. Em's going to do the honors, and she's going to open up the package. So we're doing an unboxing, I guess you can say, or an unpackaging.
Could you have not brought some scissors in?
I probably should have, yeah.
Weak.
So these have arrived over the last few days, and I've managed to stop myself from opening them so we could do them, and Em's just failed on her job. Oh my god! I don't have nails. Look at my fingers. I've got stubbies.
Because I need to
All right. Anyway, Emma's opened the first jumper. So
I'll make it look like I did it.
yeah, you did all the work. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
I already know I like this one.
Okay, so it is a Essendon Bombers 2020 Anzac Day jumper. And I'll be honest, I completely forgotten who the player is. I know it's number 37, but I don't know who that is. I just really wanted that jumper because it is a beautiful design.
I think when I saw him wearing it, I think actually they're probably one of the best Anzac Day jumpers because they're simple. They use poppies. It's a straight sash of poppies. It's all it needs to be.
Yeah, that's fair. Cool. It is beautiful. I actually really like the Under Armour material as well. Something about it. I'm not too sure what it is.
It's different, but it's nice.
Yeah.
It's unusual.
It's unusual. It's different.
It's nice.
Nice. Yeah, I quite like it.
It's an Anzac Day jersey, but it's simple, and I like it. Like Anzac Day, like the poppy, you can't get any more simple than that, but it's done really nicely. I like that.
I do too. I think it's beautiful. Okay, second package.
Senior Spud's looking after him.
Mail Day.
Mail Day. Do you want to rip it?
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll do the honours, I suppose. We'll go back to you, so we're not looking at me.
Rip it.
There you go. There's only a small hole in that one, so you can do the rest of the work.
It's about what you're used to, isn't it?
This one is from eBay. And it is from the Gold Coast Suns locker room sale they had online. It's a pair of shorts.
It's a pair of shorts.
It is. I mean, I'm not lying, am I? It's a pair of shorts. It's a beautiful pair of shorts. Yeah.
It's a pair of shorts.
Look, there's such thing as building suspense, right? So it is just a pair of shorts by the looks of it. It is a 2022 match-worn pair of Gold Coast Sun shorts. Now, if you open up the back there of the shorts and show us the tag. And show it right up close to the camera. It has got number 18 on it. Do you know who number 18 for the Gold Coast Suns is?
It's not Matt Rowell, is it?
It is the man himself.
Matt Rowell is my bitch.
Matt Rowell.
I tackled him out there. Matt Rowell's my bitch. What? You want to go?
You forgot about that, but you did
Rowell's
indeed.
my bitch.
The funny thing is, I actually have a pair of his ISC shorts. on that dummy that he wore in 2020 as well. So I have his entire kit, 2020 kit,
All right.
and now I have his 2022 shorts. So if anyone wants to sell me Matt Rao,
Does anyone want to sell him Matt Rao?
just I'd be cool with that. He seems like a lovely gentleman. Yeah, we'll have a Matt Rao around here. There's always room for a ginger.
Told you it's getting kinky.
Anyway, that one came from the sale. Cost me $95 or $90 for a pair of shorts. But hang on, so
spent $90 on a pair of shorts, and you couldn't spend more than $1 on a freaking potato for me.
correct, yes. Remember that potato will be rotten by the third episode, or the three episodes later. But yes, I did. I spent $90 on those pair of shorts, and I bought them immediately. I didn't even hesitate. As soon as I
But
saw
you
them.
hesitated to buy an 88-cent potato.
No, not at all. I was just making sure I found the right one. The
Thick.
hourglass shape.
Thick.
Anyway, so those pair of shorts were obviously sold originally at the locker room sale for $55. And so I really understand.
You were ripped off, my friend.
Not really. So I really don't understand. They must have been on there immediately, jumping on that website on the Gold Coast Suns shop site when they went up, and bought those shorts pretty much immediately because they would have been gone straight away otherwise. To pay $55 and probably go and pick them up. I can't remember where they came from, but even if they got delivery and cost them $9, that's $64. They put them up for $90 on eBay. What's the point?
Okay, sorry. I thought you bought them from Gold Coast Suns.
No, so I bought them off eBay. So the person who bought them from the Gold Coast Suns locker room then put them on eBay pretty much immediately after
got it.
they received
I
them.
misheard that.
Yeah, so they put them up for $90 and then I bought them. So to make, even if you made $35 minus your eBay fees as well,
And
so it's
postage.
$9 worth of eBay fees. It doesn't seem worth it, but maybe they just got the shorts and didn't want them and sold them straight away. I mean,
Maybe.
that could happen as well, and it does happen. So fair enough. But that is package number 2. Now we do have a third and final package that Em's going to open for us. Mail day. I will do it for you, yes.
Keep it short.
Keep it short.
Keep it short.
There you go. Little hole for you. This one comes from Sports Gear Australia. And it's in a bag as well. Look at that. They package their stuff nicely.
It's
Sports Gear
folded
Australia.
very nicely.
Yeah, so it's done a good job.
Look at this shit compared to this.
It is a 2021 home GWS.
Steady on. I haven't even pulled it out yet.
Who's getting geeky now? 2021 home.
Feels weird.
What does it?
Yeah. I mean, this is getting worse, isn't it?
Em's just dropped her first F-bomb. So there it goes, kids.
Actually.
You did.
No. There was one in there before, but you didn't spot it. And I was like, let's see how long that slides for. You have to go and watch this back later on. But
yeah.
It feels weird. Sorry, I'll hold it up in a minute. But
Oh, that does feel weird. Oh, I like it.
do what I did. That's
No, I'm not going to do that. It's super stretch. It is very, very stretchy. It's really cool.
it's not. Yeah, it's cooling. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. So there is a reason, obviously, I wanted a 2021 GWS. It's a new design for a start. It's got a bit of a hanger there.
Okay. Not keen on the thread.
It's a new design. It's a really cool design. It's simple.
It's very orange. I like the orange.
Yeah. I should have actually said this is a 2021 orange team jumper.
Yeah.
So it's a Tanner Weir, I want to say. I can't remember his name. Actually, I'm not even sure his name's Tanner, but I got it because I really like the number 10, and it's an extra small, I believe, in size. And for some reason, most player issue jumpers always look better in the smaller size. So
The collar's very nice. The collar's like the way the collar just kind of
V-shape.
it just blends nicely with the material.
Okay. Sure. The GPS patches are really nice on Puma jumpers. So I always say that Puma jumpers are fantastic anyway, and this is just another example of that. The sponsor logos, I believe both of them are heat pressed.
Yep.
Well,
That one, yeah, they both are.
yeah, we'll have to do a little bit of digging as far as what rounds that they actually wore those heat press sponsors. Is there anything on the inside of that?
They're same sponsor, but smaller.
Oh, all right.
So still Tokyo tires,
Toyo.
huh?
Toyo
Oh,
tires.
Toyo. Sorry, I was reading it backwards. but
All right.
smaller.
Show the camera. So that's an interesting little fact. It is actually the same. Go right up close because I can't actually see it there. It is actually the same sponsor as the one that is on heat press on the front, but it is a larger font.
Maybe they weren't happy with the size of it or something.
Yeah, so interesting to see what's on the inside of the back there where Harvey Norman lives, and that is a giant red sponsor. Nothing at all.
No.
So they obviously went in with no sponsor when they went to manufacture the jumpers and got it late, so they chucked on the heat press sponsors in the following months. That's it. That's what I've got in. That is Mail Day for the day. Enjoy that segment. Shout out to you, Andy. I like your mail days. They're great.
We like you.
Em,
Hello.
it's time for viewer questions.
Yes. I forgot about that.
We only have 5 viewer questions today. That's enough. But if you do want your questions answered on the show, please make sure you ask us the questions either on the Facebook page, the Instagram page, just send us a message, or you can just do it on the posts, or even TikTok. Jump on TikTok. Find us on TikTok, and you can ask us there as well on any of the posts.
I've proofread these two to make sure there's no more spready incidents. Are you ready?
All right, question number 1.
Yeah. First one is from Connor Duddy.
So you proofread it, but you didn't proofread or
Names.
at least practice the names,
No.
so you didn't get them wrong.
Connor Duddy.
Yep, cool.
For newer collectors, do you have any tips and tricks?
There are so many tips and tricks. I think we've gone over it ad nauseum on this show and the audio podcast. My tip for you would be go back and listen to episodes 1 and 4 of the Player Issue podcast because we give an incredible amount of tips on there. The simplest tips will be follow the Facebook pages, jump on all those, and learn the collectors of each club or the club that you collect the most. Learn the biggest collector of them. Ask them for some information, but don't ask them ad nauseum where you're just bothering them too much because it certainly can happen where they don't want to help you anymore. So be respectful, ask questions, but make sure you do it in a respectful way. But that's kind of what I'll give you now. But please make sure you go and listen to the Player Issue Podcast audio version of episode 1 and episode 4. It was the Emma episode. We answered quite a few questions on there. And we'll give heaps of tips on there as well. And keep listening and watching the show here because you'll get heaps of tips.
Oh, yeah.
Emma, episode 2. Question 2, please.
From Matt Harvey. Out of the remaining designs you have to get to complete the history, which one do you feel may be the hardest to obtain?
So I have 9 jumpers that I need to collect to complete the Fremantle Dockers history. And I'm not trying to complete a design history. I'm trying to complete the entire history year by year, every single jumper they wore that year. It's super difficult to do because there are a number of jumpers that just certainly seem like they're just gone. Can't find them. But I'm trying. And the last 9 are going to be super hard. I know where at least 2 of them are that I can get my hands on, which is great. I know of another couple that just will never be given up, so I've got to try and find other designs. What I need is a 1996 away, a 1997 home, a 1999 away, and then it gets into the mid-2000s. For some reason, the mid-2000s seem quite difficult. A 2003 Heritage, which is the first time the Fremantle Dockers did a Heritage, an 04 away, an 05 home, and an 05 Purple Haze, and an 06 home. They all have similarities to previous years or past years after that, but there are small differences like the manufacturer change or one sponsor different, or even just the logo, like the Heritage logo changing on the jumpers from 03 to 06 or 07. Small changes like that, but I have to make sure that I have every single one of them in the collection because of a little project that we may have coming up very soon, hopefully. Keep an eye out for that. We did have a meeting today and it seemed to go well, so keep an eye out and be excited because we are. That's all the information I can give you. But answer Matt's question. I have seen a 99 away. As a matter of fact, I used to own one, and I'm annoyed that I gave it up. 97 homes are difficult. They're just really hard to find, and I think they may have repatched them. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen too many of them anyway. The 99 aways, as I mentioned, the 96 aways, obviously the centenary badge on them, they're probably going to be the hardest because they definitely would have rebadged them. So the only way I'm really going to be able to find one is if a player has one. So I think the 96 away will probably be the most difficult. But there's also, I haven't even seen an 06 home. Never seen one, which is really weird because it's just a home jumper with the weird Reebok logo on it rather than RBK. So if anyone out there has these jumpers, let me know. I'd be super interested to get my hands on them. But I'm going to go with the 96 away centenary jumper. It's going to be the hardest one to get, I think. Yeah. Thanks, Matt, for your question. Question number 3
is from Ashton Schneider.
Ashton?
Do you think this may be Freo's last ever locker rooms? I'm assuming he means sale.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't put sale though. Locker rooms, and they just go to auctions like other clubs, or will it stay? Or will it people? I'm homeschooled and you do this stuff to me. Oh, Lord. Start again. Do you think this may be Freo's last ever locker rooms and they just go to auctions like other clubs, or will it would make Freo's jumpers a lot more expensive if it was... Oh, crikey.
To go to auction, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Ashton, for your question and making M look silly. Remember, punctuality is key.
We just make Emma look like us, bud.
I get where you're coming from, though. So, will this be Freo's last ever end of season sale, locker room sale? No, it will not. It will continue on year by year and hopefully continue to get better every single year. Questions are always being asked as to how they can make it better, and I will continue to offer my support every single year and hope that we end up with an amazing opportunity every single year to get jumpers, which we certainly do. This year is going to be great because obviously the sponsor change with Bank West coming in, they have to get rid of all of the old jumpers because they can't have the sponsors hanging around anymore. So it will not be the last locker room sale, but it will be the last locker room sale with the current sponsor combination. So there'll be heaps at the sale this year, which is exciting. If it was, then yes, the auctions would be probably more expensive than they currently are, which I could not fathom because this year was almost way too expensive to actually get one. So if it got any more expensive, I think we'd all be in deep shit. So let's hope that never happens. Emma's just made some changes to her little situation over there, which here we go. I guess it works. It's the spud with the spud.
Check.
Question number 4. Thank you, Ashton, for your question.
From Alex Emery. If Mundy never played for Freo, who would you have been collecting the most?
Super Freo loaded day today. I think every question's been about Freo except for the first one. So
yeah,
please don't think that we are only Freo. I'm very sorry that I put Michael Frederick's jumper up there. Honestly, I got lazy and just pulled him from back there over here today. But we also have Benny Cousins. So that is a 2010 Ben Cousins match worn jumper signed by Ben on both sides as well. So beautiful jumper there over M's shoulder, and one of my top 10 for sure, potentially even top 5. But yeah, super Freo loaded, but please make sure if you have questions about any other club, it doesn't have to be Freo. We can answer them as well for you. You can either find out the answer, or we hopefully just know the answer. But give them all to us. We're here to answer your questions and hopefully entertain you. So, I've completely forgot what the question was. Oh, David Mundy. So
if Mundy never played, who would you
no idea.
collect?
So that one only came about, as I said last week, because I met the bloke. So it often comes down to that. Why do people collect who they do? Generally, it's because they have a connection with the player, direct connection, or it's their favourite player. For me, it was I met him first back in 2006 probably, or 7, when he used to come into work, and we had a little bit of connection there when we used to talk about video games. And then I had the opportunity to buy one of his jumpers and thought, oh, he's a really good bloke. I've met him previously and he's a nice guy and he's a fantastic player. And that's kind of where it started. So there's generally a connection that you have with somebody as to why you start collecting them. I couldn't tell you who I would have collected otherwise. No. Simple fact is Robert Harvey retired in 2008. So
yeah, but there'll still be jumpers he's worn.
And I still collect them whenever I can. So as far as what Alex is getting into, the fact that I have 50 plus of Mundy jumpers, Robert Harvey would never have.
Oh, okay, yeah. Who would you, of that amount?
Yeah, so who would I be chasing to get their jumpers every single year? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. It wouldn't be Fife. It would be way too expensive. And honestly, I think Fife's a little bit overrated. A little bit of controversy from me there. But it's hard to say. I mean, he has been an amazing player over times, but obviously he's been injury prone, unfortunately, and that kind of dents his legacy a little bit. Yes, he's won 2 Brownlows, which is great. Then he has a year where he's not good, and it kind of hurts. And I also think that David Mundy should have stayed captain, in my opinion.
Yeah, we all know why. Well, I have my opinion on why he wasn't the captain anymore.
I think we all do, and I think a lot of people do probably feel that as well. Look, Fife is probably a lovely guy, away from that situation where people are surrounding him and bothering him, and he's just overwhelmed. It's just obviously hard to find that time with him. So,
but also, if you keep putting someone on a pedestal, and they're going to believe that they are above everyone else. I'm not saying he's not a nice person. I'm just saying they have constantly blown smoke up his ass for like the entire time that he, he's won Brownlow. Oh, he's won another Brownlow. Oh, he's the captain. Oh, he's amazing. Just like, and every kid is just like Fife. And now in jumper collecting, it's the first thing everyone wants to get is Fife. And of course you're going to believe that you're, up here compared to everyone else.
Anyway, we'll jump off Fife bashing for a moment because it's not where we got to.
We're not bashing him. We're just saying.
We're allowed to have our opinion. Everyone's allowed to have their opinion on certain players, not the personality of the person they are.
I've met him many times and he is very nice. But as a football player, they put him so high up because of... Well, is Freo's first Brownlows?
Yes.
Yeah, well, there you go. So then, but yeah, he's a nice person. We've met him heaps of times, and he's nice.
Yeah, we have.
He just gets hounded all the time.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll jump off Fifey. Obviously, he's legendary for the club, so we have no issues there whatsoever. Would love to see him win another Brownlow if he comes back firing. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Let's just hope his best isn't done. But to answer your question, I think, like I said, people have connections with certain players as to why they collect them. I think I have, I don't know what that was. That wasn't English, but I think I have about 17 Luke Ryan jumpers. There was a connection there with us. We got to play a game of basketball, 3-on-3 basketball with myself, you, and Matt. Shout out to Matt again. Against Luke Ryan, Michael Johnson, and Brennan Cox. Because we won a auction where you got the opportunity to play with them, which was really cool.
Griffin Logue, wasn't it? But then Johnson filled in for him. Someone filled in for him.
Yeah, so it was going to be Griffin Logue, but he was injured. He had an ankle injury, so he couldn't play. So they gave us Michael Johnson instead. And we had a great time. The boys were great to play with. Coxie is absolutely ridiculous basketball player. has played state basketball, and you can tell because that
Didn't let
man
up
did
on
not
us.
miss. He's insane. Yeah, if he didn't, he like I said, he did play state basketball. So if he didn't make it in AFL, I reckon he would have made it in basketball because the man could shoot, and he is super tall, so it would have been pretty good. Jono was good fun to play against, and Luke is just a character in general, and just a good fun bloke. And we kind of kept in touch post that as well. We kind of become mates as well from there. And I have collected a lot of his jumpers because of that connection. So I guess, yeah, like I say, people have connections to players is the reason why they collect them. That was my connection with Luke, and that's probably why I have more of his jumpers than probably anyone else outside of Mundy. So I would say I would have gone with Luke Ryan. Now I don't know because that may change again. But yeah, thank you for your question. It's a great question, Emma.
We've only got one more,
One
and it's
left.
from Connor Duddy again. He must have sent another one in, did he?
He did, yeah.
What's the best way of storing match-worn jumpers?
Well, as you can tell from behind M's head, the best way I believe to store them is in those cabinets. So they are great for show. The cabinets look all right. They fit in nicely in our man cave, but they also house quite a lot of jumpers. So there are 2 coat hanger racks, rails on every cabinet. Words are not my friend today at all. It is past midnight now, so I'm struggling to talk. But there are 2 hangers on inside each cabinet, and they house probably about 60 jumpers per hanger, especially the newer ones because they're not as heavy. Em's opening it up for you here. And for me, it's nice and simple because anyone comes in, they see the cabinets and think, oh, this is quite nice, very cool, very, very neatly laid out. And then you open up every single cupboard and you get that beautiful view of all these jumpers. For me, this is the best way to house them because they just look fantastic and they store really well. They keep all the smells and all the lovely things in there as well, which is great for us. And anybody who walks in doesn't want to get smashed with, awful stinks as well.
They're also lockable.
They are also lockable, so great for security as well, which is something I was very anxious about when we put them out here. So we can lock every single one of them as well as a cave to keep them all very secure. So that for me is the best way to store them, I believe. Thank you for your question again, Connor. We appreciate it. And we are coming towards the close of the show now. So we get to our favourite segment that we like to call...
What's in the cave?
Got our own little jingle. We don't need somebody to make one. So, Em, what is in the cave today? Let's have a look, shall we?
Oh,
All right, let's jump over to the wheel.
number 1.
All right,
No more than 10.
for those that haven't seen what we do here, that wheel has got a ton of names on it. Every single person there has picked a number at random, and they had no idea why, and this is the result. So we spin the wheel, and then we go... Em does all the work. She goes and gets the jumper that is associated with that number, and then we quickly have a chat about it before we close the show. So, here we go, Em. What number have we got today?
22.
I'm going to go with 227.
I hate you if it is.
I like the fact that it's hidden behind all the names,
Yeah, so you can't tell
see it
until it pops
at
up.
all until it tells us. Oh my God, I was so close.
Are you serious?
Jordan Coates, thank you so much for picking your number.
Thanks, Jordan.
I said 227. It's number 223.
Thanks,
That
Jordan.
was a super good guess.
Couldn't have picked number 1.
So we're definitely going to have to fast forward this part because
200
Em's
what?
going to be a fair while. 223. So
It's definitely not going to be in that cabinet, but I have to count it.
you do. So you have to count from 1 all the
223.
way. Yep, 223. We'll be back with you shortly once M gets to 223. We'll see you in a moment. Just going to pause that real quick because that in the first cabinet was exactly 100 jumpers. So that's pretty exciting. back to the fast forward. We are 2 cabinets through now, and M, what number are we up to? 188. We'll be back with you shortly. All right, let's jump over to me. So, M's destroying the place as per usual. M's found number 223. Is that right, M? 223? Once she sorts herself out, we'll be. Well, oh, she's yeah.
Hello.
She's gonna stab. You're gonna stab yourself in the eye
know.
with Captain Spud over there. What did I call him earlier? Is it Captain Spud?
Senior Spud.
Senior Spud. Okay. So right, 223. Jordan Coates. Thank you so much for your pick. It's actually rather familiar.
Actually, a really good jumper.
Okay, well, that's nice to know. This one is rather familiar. We have a bit of a preview over my right shoulder there. Em, you can now show us the jumper. There we go. So that is super exciting. There's actually a little bit to talk about with this one. Quite a bit, actually. So, as you can see, if you just kind of stretch it out a little bit so you can see it nicely. Get rid of the hanger. That's the best way to do it. That is not stretched that much. 2022 Fremantle Dockers retro round player issue. This one, Will Brodie was the one who this jumper belongs to. This design is based off the 1998 to 1999 and then into 2000 away jumper that they use, which is commonly referred to as the 3D anchor or the sideways anchor, some people call it as well. Came back this year, and we also may have had a little something to do with this jumper. So we do often get asked our opinion on what we think would make a good retro, and we give our opinions every year as we do. And we actually provided the jumper that this got the details matched to. So the 2000 Heath Black that we have in the cabinet was actually the jumper that this was used to match all the details to. So there's a nice little tidbit for you there. This jumper was worn against Melbourne, so it's a very regrettable day, or forgettable day rather. We don't talk about the actual game itself, but the jumper is absolutely tremendous. Obviously, another Seacom jumper, which they've done brilliantly well. They weren't still making the jumpers when they were making the original ones. The original 98 one was actually made by Adidas, but they've done very, very well to match it. The only problem was the shield on the back is a bit small, and that was purely because of the program logo up the top. It just wouldn't have fit properly, unfortunately. So it's really the only thing that doesn't really match the original is that shield. It actually looks pretty good.
It looks okay on players' jumpers, but on the retails, they were even smaller than this, and they looked so bad.
Yeah, so yeah, the retails don't look particularly great. Obviously, it is all made in China. They don't actually have that program logo on the top of their retails, I think. I can't remember, actually.
I don't think they do, no.
So that's a bit interesting that they don't have that, and it looks
really
super
small.
weird. Yeah.
Super small, and they're awful.
Super cramped. But anyway, that is our jumper for today. It is only a player issue.
Mm-hmm.
So reason for that is it was sold at auction as a match worn. By the time the winner actually got that jumper, everybody else had got theirs, and they noticed that the jumpers were definitely worn because they were filthy. So it's one of the only times where the club didn't wash them so much that every single dirt piece come off the jumpers or smell come out of it. Because that Freddie that is next to me, that's match worn by Freddie. There is some marks on the front, but on the back it is still filthy from the game itself. Whereas that Brodie came and it was clean as a whistle. The person did contact the club about it, asking some questions whether or not he did indeed get a match worn or a player issue, and they did look into it, which was good of them. Found out that Will actually took his match worn home with him, so they offered a bit of an offer to that person work it out with him, essentially. They couldn't get the Will Brody back off of him, the match one, but they allowed him to keep the player issue version, and now it has wound up in my hands after going through a couple more, but it has now found its forever home. So, while it is another Fremantle jumper, it's good to get into the 220s. So, once we start getting into the 250s and onwards, we'll actually start seeing some other clubs and some other potential sports as well. So that is what is in the cave. And with that brings us to our close. Em, thank you so much for joining me again for episode 4.
You can have dinner now. It's only 12:30.
Yeah. It's actually 12:20. So, but yes, I am
It's almost 12:30.
starving Marvin. So thank you, Spud, for joining me.
You jerk.
Senior Spud, the lovely mascot you've got there on your microphone.
I'm going to lose an eye.
Next week, obviously, there we go. I don't know how many times I've actually said it today, but that's the first time I've caught myself. But next week, we'll do a little bit of an update on Senior Spud, and you'll have something different about him. And if somebody notices what that difference is, you're going to have to tell us what it is. We'd like to know what you spot. See how good you are at spotting any sort of changes we make week in and week out to the show. As per usual, if you have any segments you would like to see, please let us know in the comments. Please like and subscribe to the show. Please leave a review as well. Please go onto our Facebook page and leave a review on the show. We'll read out every review that we get. If you want to review the audio podcast, you can do that as well. But please leave us some feedback, some reviews. We want to know that you're actually enjoying the show so we can continue doing it. Because you never know. Eventually one day it might end. The last thing I want to say before we leave is we do have some hats for sale as well. We do get asked a lot about hats, especially the one that Em is wearing. We have found a supplier that we're going to at least test out. We have got them on order. They're on their way. We only have 20. Oh, no, we don't. We only have 10 in the first order. And they'll be $30 plus postage. So if you would like a hat, I think we've already sold one. So if you would like a hat, please contact us on the Facebook page or Instagram, whatever. Just get in contact with us if you would like one of the first batch. Second batch won't be too far behind, but it may get more expensive if you don't order them quick enough. So if you would like one at the special price of $30, let us know very quickly. They'll actually come embroidered, which you'll see on the picture right now that I'm showing. So it'll be a little bit different to Em's hat, but it should last a bit longer. So It's very cool. I like the design, and I think it's going to be a hit. And hopefully we can get a lot of people wearing them. Get a big group photo. That'd be wonderful. Anyway, Em, thank you so much for joining me. That's going to do it for today. We will see you on episode 5 next week, hopefully with On the Road. Thank you, Em. I don't think there was a rant from you today, was there? No Em's rant. That's quite sad, actually. I don't mind Em's rant.
It's sad. Everyone must think I'm such a wanker. Like, she's off again.
All right, well, that's it. We're out. See you later. Goodbye. Adios, amigo. See ya.